you agree with the characterization that you have attacked him?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you
Yeah.
think that he becomes more emotionally available if you attack him? There's
Can
a
I
part of you.
can I interject for like 2 seconds? The
Yeah.
problem is less her relationship with me or friendship with me or anything, and the problem is that so that ship
Because I
is
know what it's like to be terrorized by your community, so of course I'm gonna like.
you'll use any word but abusive, but when you're talking about me, you will roll out that abusive thing real quick. You have a
I'm just
cat?
like, yeah.
Have you
Have
ever
to.
done? There's a real dick thing you can do where if your cat is walking near your significant other, you can grab the cat's tail and then it'll bite your
And they'll think
SO.
it's yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's like what's happening over and over again. Is she keeps biting me because other people are grabbing her tail.
All right, fine. Fuck my life. Just bring him in. Fuck.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, Max?
Bye.
Hey guys. How's it going, Anna?
Pretty bad.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Um, okay, do you let's start with what are you trying to get Destiny to understand? Or Steve, well, we're all on first name basis here.
Yeah.
Do you feel like he's not listening to you?
I feel like he minimizes just how stressful and upsetting and painful this whole experience was for me. Cause like, he pretty much kind of is like, you know, just kind of move on, just kind of get over it, sort of, is like the message, kind of.
Okay. I think part of the problem is that if you are assigning culpability to Steven and saying that this is his fault or the fault of his community or that he enabled this, then he's going to get really defensive. So if you stick to just talking about like your feelings and your experience,
Yeah.
I think he can't really argue with that. Then he's going to have to acknowledge what you say. Or if you want to argue with him about his culpability, I feel like then you need to make more room for him to argue his side or defend himself. But if you try to do both at the same time, his defensiveness about whether your experience was his fault is going to make it so it's impossible for him to listen to you.
Yeah.
So do you want to pick like a track for like do you want him to just understand how hurt you are, or do you want him to understand what an asshole he is?
No, because I don't want him to feel that way about himself. It's just that I sort of also feel frustration because to some extent, I guess I feel like, I don't know, sometimes I just kind of feel like he sort of blames me for everything and like doesn't take any responsibility. But so I'll
Yeah,
just
it's
pick the feelings. I'll just pick the
yeah.
feelings.
Because if you just pick the feelings, then there's nothing to argue with. If you just say how you feel, if you don't say that whose fault it is that you feel that way and just your experience, there's really nothing anybody can say to discredit that.
Yeah.
All right, so how are you feeling?
Just depressed and hopeless. And like, why do I even bother studying psychology anyway? Because I'm apparently just stupid and don't understand it at all. And I don't know, people think that all these things about me that aren't true, and it just kind of makes me feel like I should just give up on everything. Because why bother?
What do you
It
mean by
doesn't
give
matter
up?
even if I have my PhD one day. It doesn't fucking matter because people will still be calling me that crazy, crazy stalker girl. So why the fuck bother? What's the point?
You're worried that your reputation or the narrative that's been created about you will undermine any expertise you have or will have.
Yeah.
When you say you want to give up, what do you mean?
Just like, drop out. Just drop out of school and not bother. And maybe just drop off the face of the internet and whatever. I don't know.
Okay, so there's the undermining of your credibility to other people. It sounds like you're also saying that your credibility is being undermined to yourself.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, all the hate comments, like, they've done, like, a number on my self-esteem, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty horrible. Streaming's pretty horrible.
Yeah, it is.
I think Steven has the thing that's another issue is that Steven also receives a lot of hate comments,
Yeah.
and he's a bit hardened to it. And so if you make an appeal to his vulnerability or for him to empathize with your vulnerability about how much hate comments hurt you, you're going to hit a brick wall because like he always says, if I let the hate comments get to me, I would have killed myself a long time ago. So like you
Yeah.
you're asking him to drop a defense that is like pretty necessary for him to function.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good thing. Like, I mean, he does handle the hate quite well. I mean, he is understanding though, honestly. He can be very understanding about it. It's just like sometimes also pretty dismissive about it too.
Do you think that's true, Steven?
There's like two parts of it, and I'm
Okay.
dismissive of the second part. So I acknowledge everything that happened initially, obviously very traumatic. Any new person to the internet, going into streaming and dealing with everything publicly, very traumatic. So I can acknowledge that. But the second part that I kind of reject is that I feel like a lot of the trauma is her triggering herself over and over and over and over and over and over and over again for like a year. And that's the issue where it's like this, we have to stop talking about this thing and move on. Like I can understand initially there were some traumatic feelings or things were really bad in the beginning, sure. But at this point, like it feels like all of this is just self-inflicted over and over and over again. And I don't know how to stop that.
Oh, what if she just owns that it's self-inflicted and says, "Yes, I'm playing a part in this, but it's still this is still how it's affecting me."
Well, the thing is that the only person that can stop it at this point is her. So I don't know what I can do.
Yeah.
Anna, are you asking him to do something?
Not really, no. Cause like there's nothing that he can really do.
You just want him to empathize with you.
While she continues to attack me.
Anna, you just want him to empathize with you.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you think Steven becomes more emotionally available to you when you attack him? Do you agree with the characterization that you have attacked him?
yeah.
Okay. Do you
Yeah.
think that he becomes more emotionally available if you attack him?
No.
Less?
Yeah, he distances more.
Okay.
Which is not it's not like it's certainly not like my intent. Like it's not my intention, of course.
It just slips out.
It's more so that it's it's supposed to be more directed towards other people. I
You
don't
say
know how
really mean things though. I don't know if you said it on
Nothing really.
stream, not to like leak DMs or whatever. Like you like mentioned that you're like glad that I got banned or whatever. I think you were saying this on stream too. That's a pretty
Yeah, I said it on stream. I said that it was karma. You getting banned was karma for everything you did to me.
Okay. So, if you want empathy, and he's more empathetic when you're not mean to him, and Steven wants you to not be mean to him, is there a way that you can talk about this without being mean? Or, like, I guess, why did you say that?
I was feeling extremely fucking angry and feeling like he doesn't care. How he doesn't care about what was going through my head at the time was he doesn't care about everything that's happened to me and how he said all this horrible stuff about me on stream. Like, I'll start ruminating about all the horrible stuff he said about me on stream. And then I start thinking, like, you know what? Fuck you, this is karma. And then yeah.
And then you say it.
Yeah.
Do you think it's I feel like there's something going on underneath that where you're giving him a excuse to dismiss you, or like an out almost.
What do you mean?
Like there's something self-sabotaging about saying something like that, because you know his reaction is going to be to like pull back.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just talk about your feelings, you run the risk that he won't care. But if you say something mean with them, then you get to kind of own the fact that he doesn't care. So it's like you're pushing him away before he can reject you. Like, do you really feel like you need to say something mean in order to express anger?
No.
So I think I'm asking you to reflect on. I know the conscious superficial thing that being mean accomplishes. It's satisfying or feels good and feels like you got to hit him. But I think
it
that
doesn't feel good.
okay, or it doesn't feel good. But so then
Because
I'm
I feel
wondering.
bad about it. Then after.
I'm sure you feel bad about it almost immediately. But
Yep.
it's like hitting somebody. But like the underlying, there might be another underlying function that is more self-protective, or there might be another reason you're doing it that you're not consciously aware of.
Right. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So, do you have any idea what that would be? Because I feel like if you can figure that out, then it can, if you can figure out what you're trying to accomplish, and then accomplish it a different way, then you won't need to be mean.
Well, when I am on stream and talking about it and stuff, it's like there's different reasons behind it. Like, I feel like I need to really try and get across to people just how bad it was. And because there's still like so many people who like will say shit. It's like that's such like mischaracterization.
Didn't say Simon
of
Says.
everything.
Can you tie this back into the being mean part though? Like, is there? Is that you like giving up on people understanding how bad it was, or is that you trying to?
Yeah, there is a sense of giving up. Yeah. There is a sense. Yeah, absolutely. I felt like, you know what, fuck it, why bother? Like, yeah, there is
Okay,
a
so
sense of giving up.
okay, so there's part of you that wants to destroy your relationship with Steven permanently.
No. No.
You don't think there's
Can
part of you?
Can I interject for like 2 seconds? The problem is less her relationship with me or friendship with me or anything, and the problem is that I think the big issue is that she feels like other people have interpretations of events that have happened that are just impossible for them to have unless they don't have all the information. So when she sees people saying certain things, it feels like people just must not know. They must not understand things that have happened to her. So she feels like she has to go live to quote unquote correct the record. Yeah. And so long as people disagree with her interpretation of events, she feels like she has to constantly and continually correct the record.
Yeah.
That's fair, but I feel like the best way for you to correct the record would be to not be mean, or to talk about it in a way that like is not going to come across as unhinged to other people.
Yeah, but emotionally, I think the difficulty is that her set of facts is so self-evidently correct that the only way somebody could disagree is if they're either bad faith or being sociopathic.
That's fine too. I mean, you can still think people are being bad faith or sociopathic without it's calling them that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't have to. It's yeah, saying it again undermines your ability to be empathized with
Yeah.
because the yeah. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Logically, I know
Logically,
this. Yeah.
right? So um.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you say there's a sense of giving up that makes you want to lash out, like
Yeah.
it just seems like you're saying like there's a feeling of like
They already think these like shitty things about me and stuff, so it's like, why bother?
right, but then so that's why I'm saying I feel like part of you does want to just trash the whole thing, and then after that passes, that like moment of rage, then you're like, oh fuck, what have I done? And you've just dug the hole deeper.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of.
Speaking from experience, and I know Steven understands this too, you can't really control the narrative. You can try,
Present
but
your side of the story, see how people take it, and then move on from there.
You have no idea how much I hate hearing that.
yes. No, I do. I have an idea.
Okay.
I think all three of us are pretty controlling people.
Nah.
Yeah, sorry, except Steven.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never been told that I'm a controlling person.
You're less directly controlling, but you have other tools that you use to try to get control.
Mostly about what people think of me.
What'd you say?
About what people think of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. I think Steven has a lot of control over what people think of you. Also.
I think he does too. That's how I
You-
felt this whole time, that actually he has more control. I believe fully that he has more control over what people think of me. And that's another source
than
of
you
my
do.
frustration.
Well, but
He
even
has more
when,
control over what people think of me than I do. Also.
but even when I make like really good efforts to like try to be as nice as possible, and where most of my community's kind of moved on from certain things, like you'll re-trigger it, and then it all goes back to square zero, right?
Most of your community hasn't moved on.
No, I think that after we had one long talk a few months ago, I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, this was chill," and people were pretty chill. And then I think we went on a panel together, and nothing bad happened. And people were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, maybe this is chill." And I think a lot of people, the problem is there's always going to be some percentage of people that don't believe it or that are going to hate you forever. That's just the nature of the internet. But then you re-trigger, and then everything goes back to nothing.
So, Steven, you don't think if you bent over backwards or put a significant effort into making sure that everybody in your community had the highest positive possible regard for Anna, you don't think that you can control that?
I can only do so much, because if I make,
But you could do like I'm not
hold
saying
on.
you should.
I'm saying
you
that like
could.
if I make too big of an effort, then it just looks disingenuous, right? But I mean, like I've deleted like every single Reddit thread about her. I pause new Reddit threads even when she's getting triggered. I try not to respond to like pretty crazy shit she's saying on stream about me. I'll ban people in my chat if they're going too crazy. Like I'm fine being on panels with her to show people that she could be chill. Like I'll have conversations on stream with her to try to like control negative things. So like I feel like I've gone above and beyond out of my way to try to yeah.
Yeah, that may all be true, but okay. Do you agree with the premise that you have more control over what people think of Anna than Anna does?
To some extent, yeah. Just by virtue of being a larger content creator, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I'm in the same position. I think you have more control over what people think of me than I do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hesitantly agreeing because there's like I couldn't convince people that you're a murderer, but if you were to go out and murder somebody, you could. So yeah, you would have more control there. But like, yeah, but like engaging with that statement, I think as you want me to, yeah, I think I just by virtue of being a larger creator, yeah, of course.
Okay, let me put it this way. If we all have access to the same data, you have, because you're a larger content creator, you have more control over how the average person that hears about the data is going to connect the dots. You can suggest like, this is what this means, or this. I mean, this is kind of like how you launched my career. Is
Sure,
you were
yeah.
like, you were like, no, there's a different way to connect these dots than you're connecting them, and people were like, oh, okay, great. So
Yeah, of
these-
course. Yeah, I think we agree. Yeah, I'm just hedging my language. Yeah.
I understand. So I think just the fact of that is part of the problem for Anna.
Well, but that problem is it's not just that. The issue is that.
I get what you're saying, that
No,
it's
hold on.
self-inflicted and that
No, it's
she's
more
running
than
her
that.
handle.
The issue is that I'll accept that maybe I could have done things better, or that I've acted stupidly, or been insensitive, or maybe even abusive, if we want to say that. I can accept those, but I don't know if Anna can ever accept the same. And when other people look at our interactions, I think that a reasonable person will look at everything and say, okay, Anna's probably a little bit abusive too, but she can't handle that interpretation. And as long as anybody has that interpretation of what's happened, it's like unacceptable to her. So that's like the weird kind of bind we're in.
I think I can accept that because of everything, I've been toxic towards you.
Okay. You'll use any word but abusive, but when you're talking about me, you will roll out that abusive thing real quick. And I don't think that any other person will look at the series of events and agree with that 100%. And as long as other people have different interpretations of the facts in their head, we're stuck in a perpetual bind, I think.
Okay, you know how people say that black people can't be racist towards white people?
Yeah.
I think that her use of the word abusive is probably pointing to the power differential in the.
Yeah.
So in DMs, you're.
It's because she feels like she's a victim of the circumstance, and so as a victim, she has like infinite leeway to excuse a lot of her behavior.
No, that's not how it works. No, I don't believe that at all.
Okay, well,
I'm always going on about how, like,
it feels like when we have conversations that when I try to say that, like, it feels like you're talking about me incessantly on stream and it never stops, your justification is always, well, that's because I have to correct the record on things you've said about me. That's because other people believe things that's not true. It's because other people are saying things and I don't think they know the whole story. So you always have like a reason for why you could go on forever about me. Yeah, go ahead.
But I think if you can acknowledge the power differential and your sway over the narrative, then it starts to make more sense. And I'm not saying it's not toxic or abusive. It starts to make more sense why she would feel the need to talk for 12 hours to try to counteract you talking for 12 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that, but the issue is that it's not me talking for 12 seconds. It'll be somebody else. That's why the issues keep cropping up, because there have been periods of months, I think, where I haven't talked or said anything about her on stream at all. But if any other person on the internet, in an old Reddit post, in a 6-month-old video, on an old forum post, somebody, random chatter, a random orbiter says something, like if she comes across any of that, then everything is like re-triggered again. Like that's the yeah.
Okay, I can see I'm framing this in a way that's sounding like I'm blaming you.
Or it's not like I wish I had more agency over whether she got triggered. If it was me saying something dumb and then she gets upset, I could understand that, sure. And then at least I have like some way to control that. Like, okay, well, I can just stop like ever mentioning it and we'll be good. But like even if when I have stopped, other people can still bring the triggering things up again, which is the.
I think what I'm trying to say is that I don't think you can control it.
No, I know I can't. That's my issue because I'm the one.
Like I guess I'm saying that you have so much more power than her in this situation that even if you're trying to make a conscious effort to repair it and protect her from yourself and your community, you still almost really can't.
Sure, but then what do I do? Because I'm the one that gets attacked, right?
I don't think she's asking you to do anything. I feel like she just wants you to.
Yeah, but so it's like, have you ever
with the fact that she's tormented by this?
Do you have a cat?
Yeah.
Have you ever done? There's a real dick thing you can do where if your cat is walking near your significant other, you can grab the cat's tail and then it'll bite your.
And they'll
SO.
think it's yeah.
That's like what's happening over and over again. Is she keeps biting me because other people are grabbing her tail, and then it's like, well, you need to be empathetic, and it's like, okay, well, I don't want to get bitten over and over and over and
Oh
over and
my
over again.
god.
So you.
And then to compound it or to make things
That-
more kind of irritating on my end without getting too
Yeah.
weird or political, like because of the narratives that people try to push against me publicly, like there are a whole bunch of other people that Anna kind of like teams up with that say just completely off the wall bullshit, false things about me. And then they all kind of like use Anna's experience to like bolster their own bullshit claims against me. And then it just gets really obnoxious at that point. So like I think
Okay, but in that-
yeah, go ahead.
In that example, you're the cat.
In that example, I'm the cat. Well, no, it's
You're
just
saying all these
no.
oth-
In that
you're saying all these
example,
other-
it's in
all
that
these
example,
other
it's
people-
one other person grabbing like 5 cattails and they're all biting me.
But they're also grabbing your tail and you're biting Anna. Like if there
No,
were
because
not all these,
I
if
won't.
there
No,
were
no.
not-
You can ask my chat if you think I'm lying. I generally don't talk negatively about her. Like even on the
I'm not-
last
I'm not,
panel.
I'm not saying,
like,
no, I'm not
okay,
saying
yeah.
you're talking about it. I'm saying part of the reason you're angry at her is that there's other people spreading narratives about you that you can't control about how you're like a predator.
Oh
a
yeah, sure, I'm
sexual
angry,
abuser,
but I
whatever.
don't act on it. I don't say anything. Like even on this last panel yesterday, like Fnatic messaged me, was like, "No, I'm sure Anna will be fine." Like the last panel we were on was like totally fine. Like I was the reason why he okayed it because I said it would probably be okay. Like I go out of
I'm
my
not-
way to like not act out in anger or whatever. But yeah, I mean it is upsetting.
But
for me,
you feel
especially.
it though. I mean, a part of why you're mad at her for saying you're abusive is there's so many other people saying you're abusive and you can't control that.
Sure.
Okay, so it's like a whoever's fault it actually is, or whoever actually is doing worse, or like yes, I agree that what you're saying, you are taking more steps to actively protect Anna's reputation than she is doing to protect yours. Obviously, that seems just like objectively true. The flip side is anything negative you say about her is amplified by 10 million and compared to what she says about you.
Yes, that is
But
true.
on the- but on the-
again,
but on
I
the
don't
other-
say negative things about it. But yeah, go ahead.
But on the other flip side, well,
More.
even if you're just implying negative, I mean, you're implying some
Or
negative
here,
things
this
about
is
her right now. In
yeah.
this
Hold on, wait.
conversation.
The reason why I want to reframe this because I understand the perspective that you're coming at it, and ordinarily I agree that what you're saying is true. But I believe this, and I think Anna will agree. Even if I was a creator that was half the size of her, we would be having this exact same problem. Because
No.
yes.
No, because your
there's a
powerful platform you have is the big thing.
So hold on. So I know I'm correct about this. I'll be a little bit more firm, okay? If it was the reason why I know I'm correct is because so in her mind she's thinking that if I wasn't as large of a creator as I was, there wouldn't be any people that would believe me. But if I was a creator that was half the size of her and there were still 2 or 3 other streamers in this sphere that believed me, we would be having these exact same problems. She would still have to like go online and like correct the record and argue with those people and convince those people. It would be the same thing.
I kind of still disagree.
If Wicked Supreme was tweeting the exact same things and Stardust and Aristocracy believe the exact same things, and I was just like a creator their size or whatever.
Don't bring Stardust into this. I like her. She's all right.
Okay, well, whoever else is
Stardust.
tweeting whatever, right? You would still feel the exact same way. It doesn't really have to do with the fact that I'm bigger. It's just if there are people out there that disagree with your interpretation of events.
It's the fact that there's so goddamn many.
No,
Like-
because it only takes one to set you off, right?
yeah, but the gas, it's the one is the match, but the gasoline is
Yeah.
is the
The one
the-
represents all those other.
But I don't think so because it can literally be just like one person in your chat that like such like one random chatter.
Okay, it sounds like we're hitting an impasse where you're just saying you don't believe this, that she feels this way.
We can talk through it a little bit more, but I'm confident that she'll agree with me. I know she will. If I was like a smallish streamer, but people like Wicked Supreme and Aristocracy still believe the things that they believed, Anna wouldn't just let it go. We would
my
still
No,
God,
she
why
might
is
not.
John-
She might not let it go, but I don't think it would feel like a compulsive looping thing that she like scab that she has to pick at constantly. I think it would feel like something she'd want to swat down. So for me, like if somebody accuses me, like sometimes people like dig up old stuff from my past and they'll say like, oh, you blah blah blah, you wrote this thing in your sex blog that you deleted 10 years ago, blah blah. And like if only 1 or 2 people care about it or think it matters or whatever, it doesn't bother me. But then if other people are like, oh, you're such a typical Jew, it's
John Zerka keeps trying to call me right now. Did you get a message from him?
Nope.
if somebody calls me a Jew, then I know there are so many people who hate Jews or hate me for whatever that or somebody calls me like a file. Like, that bothers me, even if it's just one chatter saying it, because I know that there's this perception about me that just gives it so much more weight. So I feel like, yes, it might get under her skin, and she might be thin-skinned or sensitive, but I just think it's you're ignoring the elephant in the room when you don't acknowledge that you have a gigantic community, largely of people who think that Anna is insane.
Yeah, I guess
And
it's just the thing that makes it difficult is that, like, even when nobody is talking about her, there'll be, because I think that over the past like several months there was like a few month lapse where like nobody was really talking about her or anything, but like one chatter in her chat was able to like bring everything up again, or just Wicked Supreme was able to bring everything up again.
yeah, but like that's
Maybe
how
you can
she
think
is.
it goes along with me
I mean,
being a larger streamer, I guess, but like, yeah, I don't think that that's like the most
well,
relevant
it's a
part, no?
It's because Wicked Supreme said that everybody would believe him. Everybody will agree with what he said.
Yeah, but he's like a 150 viewer streamer, isn't he? Like, who cares?
Also, John Zerka wants to be brought. Is asking to be brought in the call.
I don't know if I think Zerka can handle this conversation.
Yeah.
This sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so, like, I don't think these things are mutually exclusive. Like, Anna can be extremely sensitive, can be fragile, can lash out when she feels scared, or feels like the narrative is out of her control, or feels gaslit. I think these are all experiences all of us have had in our personal lives. Online, when it's amplified, and there's, like, strangers who are, their opinions of you are changing, like, yes, she may not handle it well. It might be that nobody can handle this that well, and that you've developed a way to handle it that's just super different from hers, where you try to have everything
Did this mob die?
skin, and she wants to hunt down every single person who's, perpetuating this narrative that she disagrees with, and fight them. But I mean, they can both be true.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I just don't know if it's not relevant. But if you want to bring in Zerka, we can bring in Zerka. But if we bring in Zerka, we're also bringing in Dan. That's the deal.
Why are we bringing in Dan?
Well, why would we bring in Zerka? There you go. All right, that's
I don't
fine.
know. He's asking.
Okay, well, so is Dan.
Oh.
But okay, moving on from that.
Okay, so,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked you what you want Destiny to do, and you said nothing.
Oh.
Is that true? I think another thing it's important to be clear about is if you're asking someone for empathy, or you're talking about your feelings, I think with someone like Steven, especially, who is not prone, Steven's not prone to talking about his feelings for its own sake. He's gonna talk about his feelings if there's a utility to talking about them. But if it's just to share them with another person, I think especially publicly, he's less inclined to do that than you are. So I think when you talk about...
Real quick, just because I understand you don't see a lot of what goes on behind the scenes, I actually don't mind doing that. I can do that. Because I think there have been times, and Anna, you can say if I'm lying or not, but there have been times where something is bothering her, and she'll just message me instead of talking about a stream, and I can, like, we can chat about it, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, this was shitty, or, like, I shouldn't have said this, or, like, this is whatever. Like, I'm capable of doing that. I have no problem with doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think what I'm trying to get at is that if you're just asking him to listen, I think you should be explicit about that, because I mean, based on the amount of things he just said he's done to try to combat this, he clearly feels kind of responsible for the situation in some way. And I think that if you're telling him, like, oh, this is so traumatic and hurtful for me, I think the first thing that comes to his mind is like, what are you asking me to do, or what should I do that I haven't already done? If you're not asking him to do anything, I would make that explicit and just say, hey, I just want you to listen.
Can I please interject quick? John is extremely pissed off right now because... Hold on a second. He is very pissed that you are trying to say that he and Bullet slept together. And I did say that was really shitty to say.
Okay. I don't care. But, okay.
Well, probably stop saying that shit then. Because he's pissed off and it's not true. It's just a lie, so...
Steven decides what is and isn't true.
Exactly.
And it's like I said, it's really not fair to Bullet. To just say that shit.
It's okay. All right, where were you
Also,
at?
John says he has a girlfriend. He did have a girlfriend when he was
Not
literally.
anymore.
Oh shit. Well, hopefully she doesn't find out.
What? Find out about what? He and Bullet are friends. He was just staying at her house as a friend, like I said.
Okay.
He had a girlfriend at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he streamed with her too.
Oof.
Anna,
What?
you're getting sidetracked. Don't let him hijack your conversation.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
Well, I know you empathize with him because you feel like the same thing's happening to you. But I think it would be a good idea for you to be explicit about what you want out of this conversation with Steven.
Okay. Sorry.
Guess more empathy, yeah.
I think if you want more empathy, you have to
Not be mean.
you have to not be mean, and I think you have to stop blaming him for how you feel. Which is a hard distinction to make if you're angry at somebody and you feel powerless.
It's not so much that I'm like blaming him for how I feel. It's more like it's more like I will feel like he hasn't taken a whole lot of responsibility, basically, for all the shit that's happened.
Yeah, I think but then that gets muddy again. Are you asking him to take responsibility, or you're asking him to empathize with how you feel about how he hasn't taken responsibility? That's like a very fine line to
Yeah,
walk.
I guess both I'm asking for, which,
I don't think you can ask for both at the same time.
yeah.
Because
then
if he's,
empathy.
yeah, I would just go with empathy
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Empathy for feeling traumatized and
Yeah.
powerless.
Yeah, powerless. Like nobody believes things that I say. Yeah, just all of that.
The situation with the chat and the platforms and the way people are online anonymously, I think is inherently abusive,
Yeah.
regardless of Steven's efforts to make it
Oh,
not so, or
yeah.
good faith or everything. I think no amount of empathy can counteract the inherently psychologically damaging setup.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Especially if there's sex involved.
Yeah.
How do we avoid this situation again in the future?
Which situation? Her pain or
The publicizing, the talking about it on stream and then getting
okay, so
over and
you're
over
asking
again.
for something. You want her to stop talking about this.
Well, I mean, I think she should want it too, I would imagine, right?
I do want it as well. Yeah. I know that's hard to believe and it seems really
No,
weird.
no, I think it's clearly compulsive, like you can't stop yourself. I think that's what I'm trying to get at, like what other needs you're trying to meet by doing this, and then I think that will help you stop. But so Steven, are you asking her to stop talking about you?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've done this a million times, of course. But the issue isn't, it's because it's a compulsive thing that gets triggered. I'm not asking her to not talk. I'm asking her to avoid the things that trigger her to, like, complain about this thing. I don't care if she talks about me, if she, like, mentions shit about me on stream or whatever. But I don't want to run back to, like, a year and a half ago. This is all the abusive stuff that happened, like that stuff.
So what are you explicitly asking for?
Explicitly, like...
Don't call me abusive?
I mean, I don't even know if it's even that much. I just don't want to relitigate, like, or rehash, like, past stuff over and over and over and over again because other people are triggering her about, like, past stuff.
Well, Okay,
Like the thing is, I don't want to say like don't call me an abuser because that doesn't really encompass what I'm talking about. Because she could get triggered and then be like, I want to go over like these are all the ways that Steven like mistreated me, or people need to know the truth. Like, and she could never call me an abuser, and it would still be like this is like not a good thing to keep getting hung up on over and over again, right? So it's not like about that, you know.
do you feel like she's pulling the rug out from underneath you when she agrees with you on a shared truth or narrative and then snaps and contradicts it?
No, because I don't ascribe that much agency to her, so no.
Then why does it matter?
Because
Like, why do you care what she says, I guess?
well, I mean, technically, I guess I don't because I can just do this, but like for her sake, it's probably not healthy, right? Technically, at the end of the day, it doesn't really affect me. Like I just stream stuff, but it's probably.
I mean, it
not
drives
healthy.
me fucking. I hate when people call me an abuser. You're saying that doesn't affect you?
Everybody calls me an abuser. I don't care at this point.
Well, that does not make it worse.
No, it's just it is what it is. Like, I don't care.
Okay, so you're saying that your request for her to stop calling you an abuser or stop relitigating this is
I think it's bad
not
for her
at,
mental health. Yeah, I think it's bad
not
for her.
at all bad for you.
No, because I can make if I wanted to, I could just start relisting YouTube videos. I got thousands of viewers listening to this stuff. I can farm it for content infinitely, theoretically.
Yeah, you can make money off it.
Yeah.
I mean, like yeah, I mean, yeah, Chris Rock's gonna make money off Will Smith slapping him, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a unpleasant or painful or traumatic aspect
No,
to it. So
tons
I'm
of
asking,
people have made a ton of insane allegations against me. I don't.
I
not
know,
bothered.
but you also said that makes it worse.
No, I said that what the irritating part is when like other people show up and then Anna is like unknowingly like playing into like Bad Bunny or these other like crazy people.
That's
like,
fine, but you're saying it's irritating.
They show
So-
empathy for me.
They're not. They're
But
using you to further their political
No,
goals.
they're not.
They
Okay,
are.
I'm trying.
They
What I'm trying to.
care.
Okay, Stephen, it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like you have a negative emotional response to this. Even if it's a small negative emotional response, I'm not saying you're up at night, like crying all night,
Mm-hmm.
thinking about this. But are you? What I want to get at is what you're asking her for. Is there any part of it that is about making this better for you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if she wasn't adding on to that, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't. That's like that ship has sailed a long time ago. But
The Destiny is a abuser dog pile?
well, that and she will always join those communities. Even if we were every 100% okay, I think anytime I get into a fight with any figure online, she'll probably be in the other community's chat saying like, "Oh yeah, like his community abuses me too." Like I think she'll always. I don't think that'll ever stop. I wouldn't even
But
ask
you-
for that.
Okay. You wouldn't ask because you think that she'll say yes and then not do it.
Yeah, no, that's like way out of the question at this point. Because regardless of her feelings about me, I think she genuinely believes that my community is like sociopathic and has engaged in like just unmitigated harassment of her like to an insane extent, and she'll never change her opinion on that. So even if I'm fighting with the like people are telling me in chat she was in Keffals chat, like being nice to her. So it's my yeah. So yeah, like I was saying, like that
why
ship is
wouldn't I?
yeah. So that ship
Because
is
I know what it's like to be terrorized by your community, so of course I'm gonna like.
yeah. So
I'm
like I said,
gonna,
this
like-
ship is like totally self. So I don't even care about this. It's not something I'd even make an ask for.
I think you could ask even if you know the answer is going to be no.
No, I'm good. I have realistic expectations of people sometimes, so it is what it is.
Maybe too realistic. Okay, so then what specifically what do you want from her?
Just
I
to
guess I
not
just wanna be-
relitigate the same past stuff on stream over and over again relating to us.
Okay. I mean, she can talk about it.
No, like move on. Like if
You
she wants
don't
to
want
talk
her
about
to
things
talk about it at all.
No, like if she wants to talk about things I'm currently involved in or whatever, like my ban or politics or whatever, that's fine. But not like I need to go in for the 50 millionth time about how like the horrible like interactions I had with her. Like I think that I don't think there's nothing good about that. It's just horrible every time.
When it comes
Horrible-
to you,
horrible
that's all
for
I
her.
talk about. Is the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
No, not always. Sometimes I'm on a panel, or sometimes things are coming up, and you're giving your opinion on stuff, and I disagree with a lot of what you say, but I don't even care. That's fine. You can say that. I don't care. It's not like I don't like keep my name out of your mouth forever. I don't care about that. If you comment on shit I'm saying on panels or whatever, it's just the relitigating of stuff from 2 years ago over and over again. Any statement that begins with "I need to clear up the lies," like basically.
But your claim is that you're saying you want her to stop doing that for
Mm-hmm.
her own good alone.
I mean, I guess there's a small part that would be nice for me, but
Well, I feel like that is important, even if it's small, because otherwise it sounds like you're trying to have your cake and eat it too.
how am I trying to have my cake and eat it too?
Because you're telling her, stop talking about me, but not for me, for your own good. And
It is.
I want you to stop. I know it is also for her
Uh-huh.
own good, but I feel like if the more you can own that it's also for you, the more it'll resonate. Because if you just, because
No, I
if it's
don't care. I
really, if
won't
it's
own that,
really,
no. Because if I really
That's
wanted to, me and Dan could come on and do 3-hour streams like weekly covering like Anna stuff related to me, and I'd
yeah, but
probably
that
make
also,
a ton of money
that
off
is,
of it.
you will make a ton of money, but it's also self-destructive for you.
No, it's not. People think it's funny as fuck because nobody. Not to
But I'm
sound
talking
mean, but
about
like
for
given
you-
the
I'm talking about
totality
to
of
you
the
personally.
situation, no, it's not even to me personally. Where I've been involved in.
I
a
don't
lot
think
of
it's
crazy
good for. I don't think it's good for either of you to loop about the other person.
I can do it
Why would you
reactively,
do
and I can
that
make a
to
lot of
me?
money, and it's fun.
Why would you do that to me
Yeah, you can
after
do all
everything
kinds. You
you've
can make all kinds of
done?
money.
Yeah, but
hurting
it's not like
yourself.
I'm not like emotionally hurt by the situation, right? Like I could.
But I
like,
feel like you are. That's what I'm saying. Is I think to whatever minor degree you're willing to admit, you are. And I think the more you can own that, otherwise
I
you're
mean,
saying.
I could show
stop
you for a
talk-
week that I'm not if you really. No, sorry, go ahead.
No,
go ahead, sorry.
well, I won't believe you because I'll just think I know how you feel despite whatever you're saying.
Base.
So
Okay, go ahead.
well, yeah, you see what I'm saying? That okay? Can you imagine that I'm right for a second? And
Yeah, it sounds
see-
like you're trying to say that if I can say that this is the thing that I want and I take ownership of that, that it gives her a little bit more of an is it prerogative? What am I looking for? She's got like more of a thing
Yeah,
to act on
incentive.
it. Yeah, I can.
And responsibility. I also just think that if you don't say that, the statement, "Hey, I'm telling this person I've had like some kind of relationship with in the past and am friends with now. I'm telling this person, stop saying bad stuff about me only for her own good. I'm just like a saint, and I just want what's best for you, and what's best for you is to keep my name out of your fucking mouth, you lying bitch." It's like it just doesn't. I feel like if you just add in that
Okay, it would
this
make me
does-
feel so much better emotionally. I would
Jesus
be cleansed.
Christ, Steven.
Okay,
Jesus
it would just
fucking Christ.
it would just do things to my spirit.
Even.
Where did I go to get my that Dragonstone 9 or 10 or whatever? Where did I go? What was the teleport to it?
Wait, you muted. Oh.
He's
Oh,
muted
I-
because
I-
he's.
What?
yeah,
I what?
yeah. I don't know. You tell us.
He likes to deny that he doesn't. He likes to pretend like he doesn't have any feelings.
I had to ask a question about where smithing stone was on my game. Sorry.
Oh.
Oh, it's underground. Okay.
He likes to pretend he doesn't have any feelings.
Or maybe he likes to deny that. I don't know. But
Yeah,
I don't
just
know.
think
When he does
I
that, when
think
he says that stuff, I don't know. I guess it comes off as like kind of like ungenuine or something. Ingenuine. I don't know.
I don't think that. I think that he's just a little more guarded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That. Yeah,
They're
that.
bottled up real deep in there.
Okay, but
Yeah.
you're saying Anna shouldn't be upset when a tiny creator says bad stuff about her
Yeah.
being an abusive person.
She just
But
acknowledged,
but you're also telling a tiny creator, Anna, to not say bad stuff about you being an abusive person. And I think that there's a chance if you can both kind of shift your
Well, no, I could understand
wh-
Anna being upset
wait.
at somebody if they were like relentless. If like Wicked Supreme was making a new thread like every week or month on her, and she's like, "This is pissing me off," then I'd be like, yeah, okay, I get that, 100%. I would be up.
But if it's right, but for yeah, I still okay. So yeah, I understand the differences between you and Anna, but do you see the commonality that I'm seeing? Where for to you, she's the Wicked Supreme.
If it makes you feel better, yeah, sure. But realistically, no. But sure, if that's.
Anna, can you empathize with Steven wanting someone to just stop talking about him?
Yeah, I understand that.
especially when there's a narrative that Anna, that you're a crazy stalker. There's a narrative that Steven's an abusive predator. And when especially because you guys are friends. And so like if you have if you step back from streamer world, like this is really weird. Like there's not normal situations between normal people where when you say something bad about your friend,
Didn't say Simon says.
tens of thousands of people find out that you said it.
Yeah, I know.
So everything is like super heightened.
Yeah.
True.
I think one last thing I'll say is that there is a tendency to blame other individuals for the or systemic dynamics that happen online. So like like everybody hates Keffals
Well,
because
careful.
because Steven got blamed, right? Or Steven got banned. Everybody blames Keffals. Keffals didn't ban Steven though. Twitch banned Steven, but Twitch is faceless. There's no way to reach them or talk to them.
Yeah.
So we just hate Keffals as a stand-in.
Well, I don't know if I would agree with that, but I say we were going with this.
Well, if Twitch had responded to Keffals' tweets about you with, hey, we understand your blah blah blah, but
I understand
believe-
what you're saying. I agree with you like 99% of the time. The only reason I would say Keffals is different is because this is somebody that like explicitly just uses their audience to do like brigades and shit. Like that's all they do is try to get outcomes on platforms. But for like any other
Sure.
person, like if I got banned
But-
because I'm fighting with somebody, people will blame that person instead of like when it's probably not them 100% that did it, right?
But I want you to picture what the reaction would be if Keffals said,
Didn't
okay,
say
we're going to
Simon
brigade,
says.
and then Twitch said, well, that brigading doesn't really work. So, no, that's cute, but we're not banning anybody just because you organize a mob. Like, stop. Come on. We believe in free speech. We have political streamers here for a reason. Steven's entitled to say his political opinion. And if you have a problem with it, then make a better stream, and compete with him in the marketplace of ideas.
Sure.
If Twitch said that, nobody would hate Keffals. It would like they would think she's annoying, but they wouldn't. Nobody would be like, you fucking bitch. You tore down.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
This. Okay. So I think that we all have a tendency to do this when because there's no one at Twitch to get mad at. Like if we got to see the fucking, face of the person who made this decision, who saw those tweets and was like, okay, well, finally I get to drop the ban hammer on Steven. Then we would hate that person, but we don't get to see that face, and this is by design. And so I think part of what's happening in this conflict between you guys and a lot of online creator conflicts is that there's a systemic narrative that no one individual person is really responsible for perpetuating. It's just kind of happening, and it's encouraged. So the more shitty shit you can say about other people on streams or on Twitter, the more attention you get, the more money you make, and then it spreads. And a lot of the people who are saying these bad things about both of you don't understand either of you in the slightest or know you at all. So I think that when there's this huge crushing wave of negative narrative about you or negative sentiment about you, that you want to find the person whose fault it is, but there isn't one. And I think that having that intertwined and like wrapped up in your interpersonal relationship makes everything you say about each other hit a lot harder. Like you said, like the way you talk about the DMs between you guys, they sound really nice. And it sounds like even if you're saying mean shit to each other in the DMs, it doesn't matter as much because it's not attached to this like sledgehammer of public opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think that also acknowledging that might help
Yeah.
you realize that you don't have to be enemies. You also share a common enemy of the monetized outrage machine that turns people against each other.
Wow.
I know I'm reaching you when you sarcastically say wow.
I love you, buddy.
I love you too.
Kind of, it's kind of hard though, to sort of really, feel that way when it's like, it's really weird because like, people will sort of repeat like the same exact things, that Destiny has said. So I don't know. It's like weird. Cause like
It feels
people,
like it's a tentacle.
Yes.
It feels like it
Yeah.
is him.
Yeah, basically. It'll be like word for word sometimes too.
Yeah. It's unsettling.
Yeah.
I think part of what's unsettling to Steven is that it may be a tentacle that is attached to his body, but I don't think he can quite control it.
Yeah.
And I have the same experience sometimes too, where somebody will say something about me, and then one of my fans will say, "Well, no, MrGirl believes this," and it'll be word for word something I said offhandedly on a live stream like 3 weeks ago. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, I did say that, but it doesn't. And I know you're trying to represent me, but it also feels like I'm the leader of a cult that I can't control,
Yeah.
which is a really weird feeling. And it's like, you know, the moments where you're snapping and lashing out at Steven, imagine if those became like policy, and there was like, you know, hundreds of thousands of people who just now take that thing you said when you were lashing out as your like holistic standard permanent position, and then would repeat it over and over again. Like I understand it hurts you. I just want you to also think about that that's not really Steven. It might be a monster of his making, and he certainly profits from the monster
Didn't say Simon
is
Says.
also his career in some way, but it's not really him when one of his fans repeats the worst thing he's ever said about you. It's different from him saying it again.
Yeah.
My last piece of advice is that I don't think you guys should make an agreement.
Yeah, because it just sets us up for failure. But I kind of, for the last one, I figured that there were going to be like times where she relapses every now and then. But it's whatever. I just spam threads when I see it. Move on from it. But
Yeah. I also think that like the ideal resolution is not that Anna is has all these horrible things she wants to blurt out about you, but like is holding them in. I think the ideal resolution is that like you guys come to a place where you don't want to talk shit about the other.
Yeah.
well, I don't. I'm good. I'm at that place. I am. I've gone a long
Yes.
time without saying anything. And sometimes there's been times where she got like re-triggered on stream, and I didn't even say anything about it. I
Okay, but
deleted
you
posts. Yeah.
do you
Sorry.
acknowledge that throughout the course of even this conversation, you have implied that she is an unhinged, self-harming psychopath who blames all of the cuts herself and then blames it on you.
Well, I think that characterization is fairly accurate. I'm sorry, it is.
So you
Wow.
may think it's accurate, but what I'm trying to point out is that you are talking shit about her without explicitly talking shit.
To
You
just
are
understand her mental
implicitly.
state, what am I supposed to say?
There's a way to understand. Well, do you think I've mischaracterized her mental state?
Not necessarily, but I mean, it's not like
No,
I've
but
said that.
I'm speaking about her mental state in a way that is very empathetic and understanding.
I like everything MrGirl said.
Right. I'm not pathologizing her. I'm saying I'm saying there's a lot of other explanations for her behavior other than you're a fucking crazy bitch.
Yeah.
When you are talking about her behavior as though the only explanation is that she's a fucking crazy bitch. And so
It doesn't.
so that is talking shit. You do
Um,
want to talk shit about her.
Okay.
And I understand.
So wait, does she acknowledge she's talking shit about me when she calls me like my behavior abusive and that I act sociopathic and stuff, or?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, then let's just both stop and then we're good.
I don't think you can just stop, but I think that
I can.
I don't know.
Do you want to bet?
Well, I don't think you know exactly when you're doing it.
I know exactly when I'm doing it. Absolutely. I can just not talk about her at all.
That's also
Or there are
talking
times
shit.
when I...
That's talking shit in a way, because the
Oh,
implication
come on.
is, well, if
Okay, there are
no,
times
no, no,
when
no,
I...
no. The implication, if you say I'm not going to talk about her at all, the implication is she's so sensitive and so fucking crazy that if I even say her name, she's going to misconstrue whatever I say and then loop about it for 6
There are
months.
times when I brought her stuff up on stream. You can even ask my fan base. And I think I deal with it with a relatively high amount of compassion considering everything that's going on. I think the last time before we got into like the big memes again was I said something like, oh, like I think, you know, if I take her to her word, she has OCD, she gets triggered over some things and ruminates, and you know, you just wait until she gets over it. It's just a phase, it's fine. Like I think I've said shit like this on stream before. Like I could talk about it and sound relatively compassionate. I don't think she would disagree.
But now the compassion is gone, and you're back to saying that I've never been held accountable before, and I'm just some privileged little rich spoiled girl.
Okay,
apparently.
sure. You trigger me into relapsing, okay? How about that?
I can understand that.
We just want what's best for you, Steven.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we're here to help you. Yeah, so anyway, I don't think you should make an explicit agreement. I just think that seeing if you guys can like shift toward a place of look, you're both each other's worst nightmare. Steven's worst nightmare is that he's going to turn into a sensitive, thin-skinned, ranting, raving, crying woman. And Anna's worst nightmare is that she's going to turn into a abusive predator who abuses her power and steps on people and hurts them. But I think, Anna, if you can be a little more direct and expressive about your aggression, I would say even more expressive, because you can be aggressive and say you're mad at him
Yeah.
without calling him an abuser.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, Steven, if you can be a little more vulnerable, I think that you can identify with each other
Oh, yeah?
slightly more. Yeah, I believe that.
Okay.
That's all I have to say. Thanks for bringing me in.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for trusting me, Anna, despite our,
Yeah.
you know, our differences.
I appreciate that you're very empathetic with this. So thanks for that.
You're welcome. Well, yeah, Steven knows I'm an empath, so that's why he
Of
brought me in.
course.
Right. Good day to you, Steven. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
I
Can
love
you
you,
stop
buddy.
having
I love you,
panels
buddy.
about
Be safe.
fucking trans people and do something?
Oh, yeah, I wanted to invite you on another panel about trans people.
I've talked about this issue for like 5 months now. There's got to be other stuff in the world to talk about but trans people. There has
Well, I
to
kind
be.
of want to I want to have a don't say gay and trans panel. There's a number of people who wanted to be on the last one, but I had to make like a backup list.
Is it people
and so
that disagree, or is it going to be all people that just are going to circle jerk? I love them. I love Tav and all these people, but like we just come on and we're like, wow, yeah, like cancel culture and all this is so bad. And like, oh my god.
No, Rose, Wrist, and Prime both said they wanted to yell at me.
Okay, well, Rose is 18 years old. Okay, Prime. You mean Prime Kai?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, I'll think about it. When is this panel?
If you're going to be on it, it's whenever you want. If you're not going to be on it,
Okay,
it's
when I do my
whenever,
messages tonight, I'll give it some good consideration.
Okay.
Oh my
yeah,
god!
If
You know what I'm
if you-
excited for?
What?
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say, if you want to moderate it, you can do that.
Okay.
If you don't want to moderate it, I'm going to ask Dick Masterson to moderate it, and I think he's on board already.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I feel like Dick Masterson plus a couple liberals plus you and some don't say gay bill and some trans stuff. I think it'll be a pretty good panel.
Okay, I'll think about it. I'll give this hard consideration, and when I do my DMs tonight, I'll respond. I'll let you know. Okay.
Okay, buddy. Be safe. I love you.
Always. Oh, I'm looking forward to your talk with Brittany. Okay, that'll be fun.
Oh yeah. That's next week.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye, buddy.